Hello everybody, welcome to today's show. I'm Caleb Lemon.
And I'm Bo Norman. And today is St. Patrick's Day. And what we wanted to talk about are some interesting facts about how countries around the world celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Like in the United States, Irish immigrants carried over holiday traditions. Like the first two popular large parades were in Boston, Massachusetts, which began in 1737, and New York City in 1762. These parades now gather crowds of over 1 million every year.
In modern times, the majority of people wear green and pinch anyone who doesn't. But we still have the grand parades and drink plenty of beer. The pinching tradition first came around in the United States in the 1700s, from the belief that people not wearing green would be pinched by leprechauns. Various cities around the country, such as Chicago, would dye their fountains or rivers or paint the traffic stripe of the parade route green.
And many other countries like Denmark, France, South Korea, Norway, and Argentina celebrate St. Patrick's Day with their own unique festivals, parades, and traditions. In the U.S. alone, there are about 34.7 million Americans that faithfully celebrate the holiday. That's also 7 times the amount of people in Ireland itself. While the color green has become the staple for the holiday, it was in fact originally blue. Because of its association with the Irish nobility, it changed to green to match Ireland's flag as St. Patrick's association with the clover.
The tradition of the river turning green in Chicago started in 1962 and is still used today. It takes about 16 to 24 hours to get this river to look green. The Chicago Plumbing Union and a man named Stephen Bailey came up with this now world-famous idea and began the tradition. Unfortunately, the spectacular effects only last a day or two, but it's always an important event. On March 15, 1992, Russia's capital Moscow had its first St. Patrick's Day parade. It was first organized by Derek Koff and included marching bands, horsemen, and 15 floats representing various Russian companies. It was a huge success and is still held annually today.
And in England, there are also several towns and cities with a significant percentage of people who are of Irish descent, who hold many large parades and festivals. Manchester, for one, holds a 2-week festival prior to the holiday, while the Coatbridge Irish Heritage Committee hosts a week-long St. Patrick's Day festival in the town center. Munich has a parade annually held since 1996, organized by the German-Irish Society of Bavaria. It is one of the largest in the continental Europe, at 2 kilometers. The parade is usually on Sundays before St. Patrick's, afterwards celebrating with live music and dancing.
In Canada, St. Patrick's Day is celebrated nationwide, but it is only an official holiday. In Newfoundland and Labrador, Montreal has had an annual parade since 1824 and giving it the title of the longest running in Canada. The Toronto parade started in 1988 and contains numerous marchers, floats, bands, wolfhounds, leprechauns, and shamrocks. It is titled as one of the largest St. Patrick's Day parades in North America. Of course, the largest celebrations are in Ireland, where it is more of a religious holiday than in any other country.
And in Ireland, it is a national holiday for the Roman Catholics in the country. It is a holy day of obligation, where they are required to attend Mass. There are abundant parades and festivals around the country, Dublin being by far the largest, with a 5-day festival and an extremely popular parade. Nearly everything is closed except bars and restaurants. This holiday is also a major tourist attraction, featuring green beer and St. Patrick's Day themed merchandise.
Montserrat is the only other country in the world where St. Patrick's Day is actually a public holiday. The tiny island nation celebrates their independence after colonization in the 17th century. Many of the island's inhabitants have Irish ancestry, and St. Patrick's Day is celebrated as part of a week of independence festivities. Oslo holds its very own St. Patrick's Day Fringe Festival with Irish-related cultural events taking place, as well as a St. Patrick's Day parade.
Tokyo, for one, has put on a St. Patrick's Day since 1992 and has only grown bigger. While it started out by Irish expats as a way to introduce Irish culture to Japanese people, it has now caught on and become a mixture of Irish and Japanese costumes and dress-up. St. Patrick's Day celebrations have taken place in Zagreb, the capital of Croatia, for several years now, including concerts and even a parade. While it may be smaller, it is quickly growing in popularity, although it's almost exactly across the world from Ireland. New Zealand is one of the countries celebrating St. Patrick's Day, thanks to its part to so many citizens claiming Irish heritage.
A parade is held in Auckland during the day, and the Auckland Sky Tower is usually lit with green lighting for the night. While many people attend church on the originally religious holiday, one thing holds true around the world. Irish pubs are packed with people dancing to traditional Irish jigs and drinking Guinness.
Now that we have learned about how people all around the world celebrate St. Patrick's Day, let's learn something we can add to our own celebrations. Nathaniel, for one, is going to show us how to make a delicious milkshake to help us get into the St. Patrick's Day spirit.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Williams, and I just wanted to talk about how to make a St. Patrick's Day themed milkshake. And so I'm just going to get started and just going to discuss the ingredients. So the first thing you'll need is like a glass jar of some kind. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything, just a glass jar in general. You just need that. And the next thing you'll need is some mint chocolate chip ice cream. And then the next thing you'll need, a cup of milk. And then the next thing you'll need is about a half of liter, so about 500 milliliters of ice. And then you'll need some Ready Whip. So also you'll need some green sprinkles. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little bit to put on top. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you'll need to do is take the ice and just put it in the bottom. And then just put it in, like, it doesn't have to be a blender, it can be a food processor as well. So you can just do that. And then the next thing you'll need is mint ice cream. Just put that in there. Just kind of put it in there, just kind of drop it in there. After that, just take the milk, just put it in there, just put the cup of milk, just kind of spread it around. Then after that, just set the ingredients off to the side, the ones that you've already used. And then after that, you'll just set it in the blender. Once you got that done, once it's pretty just finished, once you got the big chunks out, what you want to do is take your glass. Well, first take off the lid. Take it out and just pour it in there. Don't fill it up all the way, just do it as much as you can. Then after that, you want to take your whipped cream, just shake it up. Move this out the way. And just go around. Then after that, the last step is to put on the sprinkles. That's all you gotta do. Thank you guys. This is the St. Patrick's Day mint chocolate chip milkshake.
Wow, thank you so much, Nathaniel. That looked amazing, and I cannot wait to try one for myself. Ireland might be freezing currently, but we still enjoy that nice cold milkshake in Louisiana.
And while we celebrate around the world and enjoy our milkshakes, I always enjoy learning more about the legends and beginnings of these terrific celebrations. While nowadays the majority of people celebrate St. Patrick's Day with beer, green, and corned beef, but it has always been an excuse to party. For example, St. Patrick's was a 5th century Roman Catholic bishop who is largely credited with the conversion of Ireland.
Patrick was born in Britain to a Romanized family. His father, Calpurnus, was a deacon and a local official. When he was 16, he was kidnapped from his family home and sold into slavery in Ireland.
Patrick spent 6 years in Ireland, working as a shepherd. During these years, he was treated poorly and turned towards his faith. In his autobiography, Confessio, he speaks of his experience escaping slavery. He had also dreamed he escaped back to Britain on a ship.
So Patrick fled his captivity and found his way onto a ship headed for Britain. These boats were not the diesel-powered ferries they used to make this same trip today, but a long wooden boat. They were about 25 yards long and only 4 or 5 yards wide. You could travel approximately 11 knots.
While trying to get back to his father and his family home, he almost died from starvation and is briefly captured and spent a short time in captivity.
Upon returning home, he became a priest and was eventually made a bishop in the church. He returned to Ireland, where he spent the rest of his life baptizing, building churches, and performing miracles.
That is about all we know for certain about his life, but a figure was important and celebrated. St. Patrick's is surrounded by legend, and the legend says St. Patrick raised the dead, healed the sick, and is claimed to be responsible for driving all the snakes out of Ireland.
Apparently, Patrick threw down his staff and cast all of the snakes that once roamed Ireland into the sea. Modern science tells us that snakes most likely all died out in Ireland during the last ice age and were never able to return from the mainland, since a land bridge never formed as the last ice melted as the previous ice ages.
While we understand now the legend to not be true, it is believed to be based on Patrick's conversion of Ireland from the pagan heathens to Christianity. The snake is often used in Christianity to represent Satan and paganism.
So Patrick drove paganism out of Ireland, just how the legend says he would drive out all the snakes.
It is also said one of the tools Patrick used to convert Ireland and drive out the pagans was a 3-leaf clover. Shamrocks are all over the Irish countryside, and while many people are too busy hunting for a 4-leaf clover, Patrick focused on the 3-leaf. While Patrick would preach and teach to the people of Ireland, he would pick up a clover and use it to describe the Christian principle of the Holy Trinity. Because
of this legend and the prevalence of the clover in Ireland, it is now the national flower. Now I'm very excited to learn that a special St. Patrick's Day cupcake made by our very own Diane, she brought some to the studio this morning and they were amazing. I cannot wait to make them myself.
So it's your turn to make cupcakes for the St. Patrick's Day party. I've got you covered. So we're going to do 6 simple cupcake decorations that are sure to be a hit. If not, they're at least easy. So all you need for this is a box mix in order to make your cupcakes, a handy dandy appliances in order to do everything for you, piping bags so you can pipe your frosting onto your cupcakes, some food coloring, and for best result, piping tips so you get all those little pretty shapes. This one is very simple, it's especially for those of you who are not a particular fan of icing. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna pick a color. I like chocolate the best, get a little bit of on it, spread it around. You can make this as thick or as thin as you want. I just want this kind of solid. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a small cookie cutter. You could do this in any shape. I, of course, have like a little 3-leaf clover. Don't have any 4 leaves, but oh well. So I'm going to make a little impression in it, just enough so I can see the line. Then I'm going to take my green icing with a small piping tip. I'm going to trace kind of this line with the cookie cutter. Left. I'm gonna fill it in actually just a little bit. You can leave it the line if you want. And then draw a line for a stem. So we're gonna do a bit of green squirrel, or just a dollop. That's the fancy term for I just squished it out of the bag. There you go, got that nice little shape going. Something that just says, I put a little more effort into it, but not much. This is again for those people who do not like a lot of icing, but they still want cute cupcakes. So you're gonna take, we're gonna take our chocolate, put it down, spread it around so it's a nice solid color, but very flat. Then we're gonna take very small red icing or dark pink or whatever color you want to call this. Draw a line, kind of a curved line. Go in with yellow. Green. And last but not least, blue. There you go. Nice little rainbow cupcake. Food coloring comes in multiple types. There's liquid coloring, like everyone thinks of, and there's gel food coloring. Now, the difference between the two is that liquid is a liquid and gel is a gel, right? So the reason why you would get gel is because it doesn't really change the consistency of the icing. So for this trick, we're going to do a rainbow swirl without going through all the extra trouble of getting all of the bags, putting them in one, and squishing it, because that's just really hard on your hands. So instead, we're going to get different colors of dye, stripe the bag. Now you're going to take a small spatula and just spoon it very gently into your bag, being careful not to mix up the food coloring very much. You're going to pick it up just like this. So now your stripes should be much easier to see. And then make a swirl. For my next trick, I'm going to make a little pot of gold. So these are butter yellow cupcakes, and that's wonderful. They're all nice and golden on the inside. And one of the myths about leprechauns, of course, is that they have a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. So for this, we're going to draw a little pot of gold. So we're going to take a line, your darkest color, mine's of course is chocolate. We're going to go round in a circle. I'm going to take a yellow bit with this one has a rounded star on it. I'm just going to add some little bit just in there. We colored these icings with liquid food coloring, which means they're gotten a little runnier than I would have preferred. And now for our handle for our pot of gold, we're going to take chocolate again with a writing tip, very small. Just go across, just like that, for a little handle.
Thank you, Diana. Those look delicious. I might have to stop on the store on my way home so I can make some tonight.
Well, that's all for today's show. We hope you learned something to help you celebrate this great holiday.
I am Bo Norman.
And I'm Caleb Lumen. And until next time on
What's Happening SBC?